The cold steel of the revolver pressed against my temple, and in that split second before the world exploded into white-hot nothing, I heard my son's voice again. "Mom, you're nothing but a liability now. Get out." Betrayal tastes like rust in your mouth, sharper than the bullet that ended me. I woke up gasping, not in the sterile morgue slab I'd imagined for my afterlife, but in my own bed, the one with the sagging mattress, in our cramped Seattle bungalow. The alarm clock blinked 6:47 a.m., October 15th, 2018, the day before it all went to hell. My hands flew to my head, expecting the exit wound, but there was only the familiar frizz of my unwashed hair. I'd been shot in a dingy motel room 3 years from now, framed for embezzlement by the very family I'd bled for. But here I was, 48 years old, heart pounding like a jackhammer, alive. Trapped in reverse, handed a do-over dripping with venom. This time, I'd make them pay. The house smelled of burnt coffee and regret, same as always. Downstairs, the clatter of dishes, my husband, Tom, fumbling through breakfast like he hadn't just signed the papers to sell me out.
No, wait.
Tom was already gone in this timeline, dead from that accident on the I-5 2 years back, the one my son, Jake, had whispered was for the best. I'd buried that grief under layers of denial, raising Jake alone, pouring every dime from my nursing shifts into his Ivy League dreams. Harvard Law, the golden boy, until he turned on me like a rabid dog. I stumbled to the mirror, staring at the woman I used to be, crow's feet deepening, laugh lines etched from forcing smiles through chemo bills and foreclosure notices. Cancer had nibbled at my edges back then, but I'd fought it off with sheer spite. In my final life, Jake had used it as leverage. "You're a burden, Mom. Let us help you." By helping ourselves.
Us.
Him and his fiancée, Lila, the viper with the trust fund smile and Daddy's real estate empire. They drained my savings, forged documents to pin the theft on me, then staged that motel hit to tie up loose ends. The cops bought it. Desperate single mom, terminal diagnosis, one last score gone wrong.
Clean.
Except it wasn't. I'd known the truth in my dying breath. The safe deposit box with the flash drive proving Jake's insider trading scam, the one he'd killed to bury. Now, with 3 years' worth of rage coiled in my gut like a spring, I dressed in yesterday's scrubs, the one stained with someone else's blood from the ER. No time for coffee. I had to act fast before Jake's surprise visit tomorrow, the one that ended with eviction papers and a one-way ticket to nowhere. The hospital was a madhouse that morning, flu season hitting Seattle like a freight train, rain lashing the windows like it had a personal grudge. I clocked in, hands steady as I sutured a junkie's arm, but my mind was a whirlwind. First move, secure the evidence. The bank was a 10-minute drive, but traffic on the 99 was hell. I called in a favor from Maria, the charge nurse who'd always slipped me extra shifts. Cover for me? Family emergency.
She didn't pry.
Good woman. At the vault, my fingers trembled on the key. Inside, the flash drive, tucked in a velvet pouch with Tom's old wedding ring. I hadn't looked at it since Jake's internship at Lila's dad's firm, Westbrook Properties. I'd found the files by accident, copying client lists for his study session. Offshore accounts, laundered bribes for zoning kickbacks.
Milio.
Jake's ticket to the big leagues, built on my blind trust. I'd confronted him once, softly, like a fool. "We fix this, honey. Together." He'd hugged me, eyes wet, promised to come clean.
Lies.
All of it. I slipped the drive into my bra, a ridiculous hiding spot, but desperation breeds creativity. Back at the hospital, I holed up in the break room, laptop borrowed from IT, password cracked with a sticky note hack. Files loaded, emails, transfers, Jake's smug signature on falsified ledgers. Enough to torch his future, Lila's too. But revenge wasn't a snapshot. It was a slow burn. I emailed copies to myself on a burner Gmail, then deleted the traces. Step 1. Safeguard. Now the hook. That night, I cooked Jake's favorite, pot roast with Yukon Golds, the recipe from Grandma's yellowed cards. He arrived at 7 sharp, Harvard hoodie slung over his shoulder, that boyish grin masking the shark beneath. 24, already in turning, already entangled. Mom, smells amazing. Lila's coming later. She wants to talk about the house. The house. Our house. The one I bought with Tom's life insurance, scraping pennies for the down payment while Jake was in diapers. What's up with the house, Jake? I kept my voice light, plating the food like nothing had cracked open inside me. He shoveled a bite, talking through it. Westbrook's expanding. Dad, Mr. Westbrook, thinks it's prime for flips. Suburbs are hot. We could get you something smaller, you know? Assisted living vibes, closer to work. Assisted living. At 48, with a full-time job and no vices beyond black coffee. The hook lodged deeper. And where would I go exactly? He paused, fork midway. Mom, come on. You're killing yourself here. Bills piling up, that cough. Cancer echo, the lie they amplified later. Lila and I were thinking long-term. Family first. Family. The word soured on my tongue. I smiled, refilling his wine. Tell me more about the internship. Making waves? His eyes lit, greed's favorite disguise. Huge. Closed a deal on that waterfront condo yesterday. Mr. Westbrook says I'm a natural. Natural-born liar, I thought, watching him glow. Lila arrived at 8, all blonde waves and Lululemon, air kissing my cheek like we were sorority sisters. Alexis, babe, this place is so
Cozy.
But imagine the potential. Potential for them to gut it, sell for 3 times, and ship me to a one-room in Tacoma. We chatted surface level, her yoga retreats, his moot court wins, until I steered it. Jake mentioned the house. Sounds exciting. But what about the equity? I've got skin in this game. Lila's laugh tinkled like breaking glass. Oh, we'll handle that. Trusts, you know? Keeps things tidy.
Tidy.
Like the motel room. I nodded, playing the grateful mom. Smart. Hey, speaking of tidy, Jake, remember that old safe deposit box? Your dad's stuff. I was thinking of cleaning it out. His fork clattered. Bingo. What's in it? Lila asked, too casual. Photos mostly. Some papers from Tom's estate. Lie one. His jaw tightened, but he recovered.
Cool, Mom.
We can look together sometime.
Sometime.
Never. Bedtime came. They crashed in the guest room, whispers filtering through the vents. She's clueless, babe. Sign the papers tomorrow, and we're golden. Golden. My blood boiled, but I waited till snores, then crept downstairs. Phone in hand, I dialed an old contact, Ricky, ex-cop turned PI, the kind who bent rules for a nursing discount. Ricky, it's Alexis. Need dirt on Jake and Lila. Deep dirt. And Westbrook Properties. He chuckled gravelly. Back in the saddle. Huh? What's the play? Revenge, I whispered. The biblical kind. Dawn broke gray and unforgiving, rain drumming the roof like impatient fingers. Jake and Lila left early, kisses blown, papers forgotten on the counter, pre-signed quitclaim deed, my name scrawled in blue ink. I burned it in the sink, watching flames lick the betrayal. Work called, but I skipped, driving to a coffee shop in Capitol Hill, laptop open. Ricky texted. Got a lead. Meet at the pier noon. The pier smelled of salt and diesel, ferries groaning against the tide. Ricky waited by his battered Tacoma, coffee steaming. 50-something, paunchy, eyes like a hawk's. Alexis. You look like hell. Feel like it too. I slid him an envelope, 500 scraped from tips. What view you got? He lit a smoke, exhaling slow. Your boy's in deep. Not just internships. He's funneling Westbrook cash through Shellcore. Kickbacks on city contracts, affordable housing scams, ironically. Lila's the front, Daddy's blind eye. But here's the kicker. Your husband's crash? Not an accident. Brake lines cut, per the talks report I pulled. Jake was the last one in the garage. My world tilted.
Tom.
Dead 2 years already in this loop, but the truth hit fresh. Why? Insurance. And to cut ties. Tom found out about the skimming, confronted the kid. Jake panicked. Ricky's voice dropped. You were next, weren't you? After the house flip. I gripped the railing. Puget Sound churning below. Evidence. Digital trail. But it's buried. Need a hacker or a mole. He stubbed the cig. You sure about this? Feds get wind. It's RICO charges. Whole family's toast.
Toast. Fitting.
I'm sure. Back home, I paced, ghosts whispering. Tom's laugh in the kitchen. Jake's tiny hand in mine at the park. I'd given everything. Nights double shifting, holidays skipped, love unconditional. For this, a son who'd murder for a penthouse view. Rage crystallized into plan. Expose, dismantle, destroy. But controversy loomed. Airing family sins in public? Painting Jake as the villain when he'd charmed the neighbors, the profs, the world? I'd be the bitter hag, the mom who snapped. Evening brought Lila's text. Papers ready? Let's do lunch tomorrow. XOXO. Like daggers. I replied. Perfect. Bring Jake. Sleep evaded, dreams splicing timelines, bullets crack, Tom's twisted wreck, Jake's cold command. Move out, Mom. Or else. Dawn, I rose, stealing for war. The lunch spot was a trendy bistro in Belltown, exposed brick and overpriced kale. Jake fidgeted, Lila preened, me? Serene as a storm cloud. Appetizers arrived. I sipped water, timing it.
So, about the house.
I've been thinking. Jake leaned in. Yeah? You in?
Out.
All the way. Their smiles faltered. See, I know about the safe. The files. Tom's files. Lila's fork paused. What files? The ones showing Jake's little side hustle. Offshore fun, city bribes. Oh, and the brake job on Dad's truck. Jake's face drained white. Mom, what the? Save it. I have copies. Sent to a friend at the DOJ this morning. Bluff one. Ricky was working it. But the fear in their eyes? Priceless. You wouldn't. Lila hissed, glancing at patrons. Controversy brewed, seen in public, family imploding over mimosas. Try me. Sign over the house clean. Or I hit send on the rest. The crash report, too. Jake's fists clenched. This is blackmail. Call it karma. I stood, dropping cash. Lunch is on me. Think it over. Driving away, rear view showed them huddled, whispers frantic. First blood. Mine. Weeks blurred into calculated chaos. I quit nursing, burnout excuse, diving into the shadows. Ricky delivered. Encrypted drive with Tom's forensics, Jake's emails to a fixer named Viper, Lila's pet name, Cute. I lawyered up, a shark from legal aid named Elena, who ate corporate greed for breakfast. We'll sue for fraud, elder abuse angle. Play the single mom card hard. Elder? Add 48? But America loved its sob stories. Media sniffed, local rag ran, devoted mom battles son's empire over family home. Comments exploded. What a monster kid. She's lying, milking the system. Controversy crackled. Pickets at Westbrook HQ, Jake's LinkedIn buried in hate. He called nightly, voice cracking. Mom, please. It's a misunderstanding. Lila's dad can fix it. Fix like you fix Dad?
Click.
Lila went nuclear, texts accusing hysteria, menopause. I leaked a redacted email to a blogger. Jake's mom's expendable post-Tom quip. Twitter ignited betrayed by blood. Feminists rallying. Conservatives decrying family breakdown. Tension coiled. Death threats to me, doxing Jake. My old life crumbled. Neighbors whispering, your colleagues side-eyeing, but power surged. For once, I wasn't the victim. Crescendo hit at the deposition. Westbrook Tower, glass and steel piercing Seattle's smog. Jake across the table, suit rumpled, eyes hollow. Lila absent, flew. Elena grilled. Explain the $2.40 mil transfer to Cayman, Mr. Hargrove. Legit consulting. His voice cracked. Consulting for what? Ghost projects. She slid photos. Tom's wreck, brake residue.
Gasps.
Jake bolted, puking in the hall. That night, my door rattled. Jake, soaked, feral. You win, Mom. House is yours. Just stop. Stop. The word hung. Mercy flickered, bloods pull. But memory surged, motels chill, guns kiss. Too late, kiddo. Cops hauled him for the threats. Lila's daddy cut bait, spilling to feds for immunity. Twist. The fixer? Lila's brother, covering his own Ponzi. Family rot, layered deep. Trial was circus. Headlines screaming, Ivy heirs fall. Mom's revenge or ruin? I testified, voice steady. I raised a boy. He became a killer. Jury wept. Jake got 20, Lila 10. Westbrook crumbled, assets seized. Epilogue. House mine but empty. I sold it, bought a cabin in the Cascades, nursing retired. Peace?
Nah.
Vindication's a hollow crown. But damn if it didn't fit. No, that wasn't the end. Not by a long shot. The cabin's first winter brought snowdrifts and silence, but silence screams loudest when you're replaying a lifetime's worth of what-ifs. I'd won. Sure. Jake in Supermax, Lila counting commissary nickels, her empire dust. But victory's aftertaste is ash, especially when the ghosts won't shut up. Tom's shade lingered in the wood smoke. Jake's boyhood laugh echoed off the pines. And me? Alexis Hargrove, Avenger extraordinaire, staring at a ceiling fan's lazy spin, wondering if I'd become the monster they accused me of. It started with a letter. Postmarked from Pelican Bay, Jake's new address. Mom. It began, scrawled in that careful print he'd perfected for exams. I get it now. The files, the crash, panic makes fools of us all.
But you?
You destroyed everything. For what? A house. Pages of remorse, Bible quotes, therapy speak. Forgive me. Visit.
Forgive.
The word landed like a gut punch. I'd scripted this revenge in my head during those phantom 3 years, bullet-riddled visions fueling every leak, every lawsuit. But real life? Messier. Elena warned, don't. He's fishing for appeal ammo. Ricky agreed. Snakes still got fangs. Yet curiosity or masochism gnawed. What if there was more? A deeper secret, one even my foreknowledge missed? I drove down in spring, the I-5 a ribbon of regret under blooming dogwoods. Prison visiting room. Beige walls, bending hum. Families fractured like cheap mirrors. Jake shuffled in, orange jumpsuit swallowing his frame, Harvard polish stripped to bones. Mom. His eyes, Tom's eyes, pleaded. We sat, plexiglass between, phones greasy. You look good, he lied. I didn't. Months of isolation had hollowed me too. Mirror showed a stranger, lines sharper than scalpels. Tell me why, Jake.
Truth. No bullshit.
He leaned close, voice a rasp. It wasn't just the money. Dad.
He knew about you.
The affair. Affair? My blood iced. What affair? With Dr. Ellis. Oncology. Your treatments. He found the hotel charges, the texts. Thought you were cheating, siphoning cash for it. Confronted me. Said we'd cut you off together. I couldn't let him. Dr. Ellis. The oncologist, yes, late nights consulting, his hand lingering on my shoulder during scans. Comfort, I'd called it. Loneliness in a sterile gown. But Tom? Doubting me? The crash, Jake's preemptive strike, not just greed, but twisted loyalty. He was gonna leave you, Mom. Bankrupt us. I protected the family. Protected. By murder. My hands shook on the receiver.
And me?
The frame up. Your cancer was back. Scans showed Mets. Lila said.
Mercy.
Quick end. Insurance payout. Clean. Mercy. The word twisted like a knife. I'd beaten the recurrence in my old life. Sheer will and spite.
But they?
Euthanized me in their minds before the bullet flew. Betrayal's layers peeled back, raw and rancid. I left without goodbye, vomiting in a lot. Homeward drive blurred. Rain again. Wipers slashing tears. Secret unearthed. Not just greed, but a family's festering lie. Tom suspected infidelity, untrue, but perception's poison. Jake avenged with blood. Lila orchestrated the kind exit.
Me?
Collateral in their delusion. Controversy reignited. I hired a new PI, freelance hacker this time. Ghost on the dark web. Dig into Ellis, I messaged. Results flooded. Tom's browser history, searches for divorce during illness, voicemails raging. And Ellis? Not just comfort. Emails post Tom's death. Missed you last night. Come over. Flirtation, yes, but acted on?
No.
Still, the shadow stained. Publicly, I stayed silent. But privately? Erosion. Dreams of the motel merged with cabin fires, gunshots with cracking ice on the lake. Was revenge justice, or just trading scars? Media circled, podcast invites. The mom who jailed her son. Hero or villain? I declined, but leaks sprung. Anonymous source, Ricky. Dropped the affair angle. Headlines shifted. Twist in Hargrove saga. Mom's secret lover sparked feud. Hate mail piled. Homewrecker deserves the bullet. Feminists flipped. Victim-blaming bullshit. Tension peaked. Paparazzi at my gate. Mailbox stuffed with threats. I barricaded. .38 from the drawer. Tom's old service piece. Sleeping with it loaded. Then the call. Lila, from minimum security. Collect. Voice syrup over gravel. Alexis. We need to talk.
Jake's.
Deteriorating. Says you're the only one who can save him. Save him. After? Why?
Guilt.
He's confessing everything. Even stuff we buried. Viper wasn't just bro. It was Dad, Westbrook. The big man himself. Twist 2. Lila's father, the puppet master. Not blind, architect. He'd groomed Jake, fed the scam, then sacrificed the kids when heat rose. He framed you too, Alexis. To test loyalty. Said family weeds out the weak.
Weak. Me?
The nurse, the widow, the fool. Rage rebooted, pure now. Where's the proof?
Hidden drive. My cell.
Visit, I'll slip it. Trap? Likely. But the fire in my veins? Unquenchable. I went, wired. Body cam from a shady supplier. Elena on speed dial. Women's lockup. Softer edges, but eyes just as hard. Lila, stripped of Lululemon, met my glare with a smirk. You came. Ballsy.
Spill.
She slid a thumbnail drive under the table, casual as gum. All there.
Audio. Witz.
Dad boasting. Alexis takes the fall. Jake proves his mettle. He knew about the gunman. Hired him.
Gun.
My end, commissioned by the Silver Fox smiling at barbecues. Why tell me? Revenge, bitch. He hung me out too. Rot in hell together. I pocketed it, stood. Thanks. Outside, hacker decrypted. Damning. Westbrook's voice, avuncular venom. Family's about sacrifice, son. Your mom's the lamb.
Lamb.
No more. Storm brewed. Literal. Seattle's moody squall dumping sheets. I drove to Elena's, files burning a hole. Sue the bastard. Civil, criminal, everything. She whistled. This? Dynasty falls. But blowback, you'll be public enemy 1 and 2. Bring it. Controversy? Fuel. I went rogue, tipping a journalist. Hard-hitting type from the stranger. Exclusive. The man behind the Hargrove betrayal. Article dropped Friday. Exposés, transcripts, my anonymized quote. They called it family. I call it murder. Twitter imploded. Westbrook down trending. Protests at his yacht club. SEC crawling his books. Westbrook fought dirty. Countersuits, smears. Unstable widow hallucinates conspiracies. My affair, proof, splashed tabloids. Ellis dragged in. Hounded till he quit medicine. Guilt gnawed, collateral again, but I pressed. Crescendo. Gala night. Westbrook's schmooze fest at the Space Needle. I crashed, black dress from a thrift rage buy. Driving clutch. Chandeliers glittered. Elites toasting. Him. Center stage. Silver hair gleaming. To new beginnings. I waited till speeches ended. then approached, glass raised. To endings, Richard. His smile froze. Alexis. Charming as ever. Charming like hiring hitmen? Murmurs rippled. I pulled the drive, held high.
Play it, someone.
Hear the family man. Chaos. Phones out, audio blaring, his voice damning. Gasps, flashes popping. He lunged. Lies. But security swarmed. Cops followed, cuffs clicking like applause. Outside, rain lashed, me soaked but soaring. Jake called from prison. Mom? Saw the news. Thank you. Thank you. For what? Unmaking us? Get help, kid. Real help. Months ground on, trials stacked, Westbrook's empire auctioned. I testified again. Voice iron. Sacrifice? He meant slaughter. Jury nodded. Life sentence, no parole. But the hook twisted final. In cleanup, hacker found Tom's last email, unsent. Alexis, forgive me. The suspicions. Jealousy. I loved you. Always. Tears came, hot and late. Cabin summers now held peace, tentative. I volunteered. Victim's aid. Irony noted. Jake wrote monthly progress reports. Forgiveness? Budding, thorny. Lila? Silent, broken. Revenge's arc bent me, but didn't break. America loves a comeback. Mine, flawed, fierce. The door behind? Always open if you dare knock. Yet peace is a liar, fragile as eggshell under boot. 2 years post-gala, the cabin felt less sanctuary, more cage. Walls closing with whispers of what I'd wrought. Jake's letters evolved, from pleas to reflections, therapy jargon yielding to raw pleas. I see Dad in me now, Mom. The poison. But you're free. Stay that way.
Free. Was I?
Shadows clung. Nights jolted awake, phantom gun at temple, or Tom's mangled hood steaming in rain. Elena called one crisp fall. Loose end. Westbrook's appealing, claims dementia. But bigger. Estate settlement. Heirs contesting, Lila's cousins, sniffing scraps. Your name's on a codicil. Codicil. I'd forgotten. Post-trial. Feds seized assets, but a hidden trust surfaced. What does it say? Come to office.
It's
wild. Downtown Seattle, Elena's loft. Exposed beams, coffee strong as resolve. She slid papers. To Alexis Hargrove, for services rendered, $5 million. Use it to rebuild what family took. Services. Euthanasia euphemism? Or patronizing pity? He wrote this pre-arrest?
Yep.
Twisted fuck's last joke. I laughed, bitter. Money burned, tainted, but transformative. Charity? Or fuel for more fire? Decision loomed, controversial as sin. Forgive and forget, or weaponize anew. Public eyed me warily. Hero faded to has been, podcasts pivoting to redemption or reckoning. I tuned out, drove coasts, soul-searching in motels echoing my doom. Thanksgiving brought Jake's parole hearing. Model inmate, shrinks vouching. Elena prepped. Victim impact statement. Your call.
Call.
The word mocked. I went, prison's chill seeping bone deep. Hearing room. Stark, Jake in khakis, shackled but shaven. Judge stern, public sparse. Reporters lurking. My client seeks redemption, his lawyer droned. Then me, Mike cold, eyes on son. Jake killed my husband. Framed me for suicide. Built an empire on lies. Pauses hung heavy. But he was 22, scared, poisoned by men who should protect. I've lost a family, but maybe. Not forever.
Gasps.
Controversy detonated headlines. Mercy from the Avenger. Parole for parricide? Hate surged. Soft on crime. Allies cheered. Grace over grudge. He got 5 years supervised. Out in 2. I nodded, exiting to flashbulbs. Winter thawed. Jake released to halfway in Tacoma. First visit. Diner off the interstate, booth sticky, pie indifferent. He slid in, gaunt but grinning. Mom. Jake. Awkward sips, small talk stumbling, weather, books. Then, Why the mercy?
Truth time.
Because hating you is killing me slower than the bullet.
And.
I wasn't innocent. His brow furrowed. The affair?
Worse.
Neglect. Pushed Tom away with work, resentment. Ellis? Shoulder to cry on, nothing more. But I let the fractures grow. Confession lightened, shared weight. He nodded, tears brimming. I thought I was saving us. Dad's rage. He blamed you for everything. The money woes, his failures. Tom's failures. Layers peeled eternal. We all failed, but weary right now. Rebuild began tentative. Weekly calls, supervised lunches. Lila? Rotting, appeals denied. She wrote once. Enjoy my scraps, trader.
Trash.
Money decision crystallized spring. Co-founded a nonprofit. Second Chances Seattle. Aid for single parents framed by family, legal clinics for the gaslit. Controversial? Hell yes. Critics sneered, profiting off pain. But board meetings buzzed, grants flowed, lives mended.
Me?
Director. Voice steady, scars badges. Twist final struck summer solstice. Package at cabin, no return. Inside, flash drive, labeled truth. Lila's hand, smuggled, vengeful gift. Files, Tom's affair. Not mine, his. With Lila's mother, pre-widowhood. Blackmail fodder Westbrook wielded, puppeteering Jake's loyalty. Shock rippled, Tom, the faithful ghost. But clarity followed. His suspicions? Projection. The crash? Not just protection, but silencing a double-crosser.
Jake, unwitting pawn in generational rut.
I burned it, ashes to wind. No more secrets. No more chains. Labor Day barbecue. Cabin deck, string lights flickering, volunteers mingling. Jake arrived, aproned, grilling burgers, domestic, disarmed. Smells like home, he said, flipping. Home. Fluid now, rebuilt on ruins. Elena toasted. To Alexis, the woman who died, rose and rocked the boat. Laughter echoed, Puget's distant hum approving. No perfect happy, scars itch, doubts whisper. But by kitsch?
Nah.
I'd chosen tension's edge, American as apple pie and pitchforks, flawed redemption, fierce and unapologetic. Door behind? I opened it wide. Stepped through.
Alive.